8 hits with the sword. Actually, she elects to use arrows to finish that off. fylion is going to go pick up his shovel now, and he's going to lead him to his flute. So yeah, fylion's going to grab his shovel here, then he's going to mirror right back over to the light world and grab his flute. And he gets the quick dig off, grabs the flute during this little cutscene. Nicky is mashing through some text boxes. And she will be on her way to grab her flute next. fylion charging up for a spin dash. And he is through. He's going to be doing his flute sequence here. Okay, and fylion's got his duck. I think he might elect to go pick up powder here. Yeah, he's going to go pick up the powder right now. Once you get the flute, you can pick up the powder at basically any point. It takes about the same amount of time. Yeah, I think fylion's down in chat right now confirming that he hit the mirror a couple times too soon in Palace of Darkness. Just a little mistake, but it's alright. I think plenty of runners have accidentally hit the mirror too soon before. Nicky's got her shovel. She's gonna mirror to the light world and grab her flute. And fylion's working his way to the portal over here to go into Thieves Town. So, Thieves Town, according to the game, is the 4th crystal you should be getting. But we're going to do it second. For a couple of reasons. One, it's not that bad of a dungeon. You don't really actually need anything extra for it than what you've got now. And 2, afterwards we can go grab the Tempered Sword, which will help us through the rest of the run. Fylion's in the Thieves Town. He's going to ignore most of these chests, just go grab the big key. Nicky is going to go grab the bug net while she's here. Not a bad idea. It's a nice little safety to pick up. Don't think she's picked up a bottle yet, but she can go straight south and grab a bottle. She actually might have done that while I wasn't looking. But fylion is through the front, and yep, he's grabbing the key. He's gonna head to the back, and yeah, chat points out, of course, she had a bottle because you need a bottle to get the bug net. So yeah, she's got a bottle, and she's gonna go pick up her powder as well. And fylion gets the nice pixel there, the so-called God pixel, that allows you to just basically charge right through that room. It's a very pixel-perfect dash. If you get it and the enemies are positioned right, you can just charge straight through that hallway. fylion gets the hole open to get the blind triggered. Wisely waits for a second to make sure it does detonate, because if you go too soon, the hole won't form, and then you'll have to go back up there to do it again. Nikki grabbed her powder. She is heading back to this portal, and she'll be on her way to Thieves Town in just a minute. Finally, is heading back to Blind Cell to grab the maiden, and then he'll go grab his Titan's mitts. Nikki is now into Thieves Town as well. She's going to grab her big key and then head to the back. fylion grabs his Titan's mitts, and now he's going to take the maiden upstairs to trigger the blind fight. Ooh, gets a little off track there. He's going to let's go this way, which is a little slower because you have to pick up the block again, but it's also a safer route. Nikki has the big key. She's heading to the back of Thieves Town. fylion is a little low on health for this, but the nice thing about this blind fight is it's completely scripted. So if you get the right sword hits off, this fight is pretty much the same every time, with just some variance on where the fireballs go. Ooh, and Nikki gets the nice God Pixel as well. Very nice for both runners. fylion only takes 1 heart of damage, and he is through Thieves Town. Nikki's blowing open the hole here. She's going to now head downstairs to get the maiden and get the Titan's mitts. So next up for the runners is a little bit of some essentially side questing. They need to go pick up 600 rupees, and they need to go pick up a tempered sword. And you can do all of that in Village of Outcasts while you're here. Nikki is in the basement. She's gonna go to the maiden cell. fylion is blowing up this hut, so you can grab this first chest, which has 300 rupees. There's another chest that will have 300 rupees. We'll see it a little bit later. Now fylion is gonna go grab the frog smith, and he's gonna take him back to the light world, make him the blacksmith. Nikki elects to powder an anti-fairy and grab a fairy to give her a safety for this upcoming blind fight. fylion got his mirror out. You got to mirror a couple times here as you return the smith, give over your sword, and then get back the tempered sword. Nikki makes it through that hallway very nicely. She's about to head into her blind fight. And fylion hands over his sword, gonna warp back to the dark world and then back to the light world. And fylion has his tempered sword. Now he's going to walk back to the Dark World, and he has to grab 300 more rupees. And we'll see if he elects to try to do a fence dash. Yeah, he tried the fence dash, didn't get it. So he dashes north, though. He's going to grab his 300 rupees. Meanwhile, Nikki got through her fight very cleanly, and she has her second crystal for Thieves Town. Fylion has all of his rupees, and now he's heading into Skull Woods. Skull Woods is another of those dungeons that has a lot of rooms you don't really need to go into. We're going to see him just basically head straight to the middle part of the dungeon, grab the big key, head back to the front, grab the big chest, and then head to Mothula. Nicky has finished her text box mashing at Thieves Town. She's now going to grab her first 300 rupees, then go save the blacksmith. Fylion's got his big key, now he's going to go pick up his fire rod. We're going to see another bomb jump coming up here from Fylion. Did it the first time. You notice that a lot of times if Fylion, when he has the option, he'll... Actually, Nicky has done this too. You notice that they'll try to bonk the wall as the bomb is about to detonate. The reason they do this is because it gives you an extra 4 pixels to work with for your bomb jump. Normally, it's a pretty pixel-perfect jump. You only have 2 pixels to work with. But if you bonk, you can get an extra 4 pixels from the bonk and the frames that you get. Nicky just handed over her Master Sword. She's got a warp. Oh, she's going to go pick up the half magic. This is not a bad safety at all to pick up. You can do it right here while you're here. And it'll give you an extra... It'll give you a double magic, basically, to work with. Fylion's in the back, he lit all the torches, and he's about to hit the Mothula fight. Yeah, Nicky has her half magic. That'll definitely help with this upcoming Mothula fight, as you can use more fire rod shots. So, Fylion's in his Mothula fight. He's got to be careful because if you knock Mothula back into the spikes, he takes no damage from your slash. But he gets him out of the spikes nicely. Four tempered sword slashes, he's down, and he's got his crystal. Nicky has her tempered sword. She is going to head up and grab her other 300 rupees, and then she'll head into Skull Woods. And she gets the fence dash very nicely, though she then bonks on the double bushes. That's a common thing I've noticed in this tournament is a lot of runners, they get so excited about pulling off that fence dash that then they hit the double bushes and bounce right off back. Nicky is entering the Skull Woods now. She's heading first to the middle part to grab her big key. Fylion's finished his text box mashing after Skull Woods, and now he's got some more side quests to do. He's got to go pick up the Quake Medallion, and he's got to go pick up some flippers. Nicky's got her big key as Fylion goes back to the Dark World, and he's going to run up to the Catfish to get his Quake. Nicky's setting up her bomb jump. Very nicely done. She's got her fire rod, and she's going to head to the back of Skull Woods now. Fylion's going to jump to a bush in there. He looks not to set up for the quick warp. which is based on his positioning is a good idea. If you set up for this quick warp wrong, you can jump into the water and soft lock yourself. The idea is to bonk off that one wall, and you're perfectly set up to grab the medallion and warp quick. Yeah, Fylion's going to go now back to Life World. He's going to grab his flippers for 500 rupees. Nicky is in the back of Skull Woods. She's heading towards Mothula now. Going to use, most likely use the fire rod to get rid of these Gibdos, which she does nicely. And she gets a nice little magic refill there as well. Powder this anti-fairy to get some extra health. I don't blame her. This Mothula fight can be very, very frustrating. So Fylion has his flippers. Let's see how Nicky does in this Mothula fight. I don't think she got the dash, but other than that, she's doing pretty well. And yeah, that was a very nice Mothula fight from her. She's got her third crystal. Meanwhile, Fylion is got his flippers. He's heading up into Ice Palace now. Ice Palace is, with its intended path, one of the longer dungeons in the game. But we're going to use a nice little glitch to skip about 3/4 of it. And we'll talk about that in just a minute. And Nicky's mashing through some text boxes. Fylion is down to the first basement level here. Yeah. Ice Palace is another of those dungeons that just has a lot of extra rooms. And yeah, in the normal game you'd go through them, but not in the NMG run. Though Fylion's got to be very careful, as he's took a lot of hits from those penguins. He's down to a heart and a half. I think he's going to powder an anti-fairy for safety. Oh, and the penguin gets him. And he's going to have to go back to the start. It's going to give Nicky a little bit of a chance to make up some time here. Thankfully for him, he didn't die too far into the dungeon, so it won't take him long to get back to where he was. Yeah, a lot of enemies in the Dark World do 2 hearts damage. This dungeon does have something nice called Blue Mail that would cut that in half, but we're not going to grab that. It's too far out of the way, basically. Fylion is going to set up a bomb here to bomb that switch and bomb the floor at the same time. As Nicky sets up for the quick warp as she goes for her Quake Medallion. Oh, she warped too soon! She's going to have to go back around and grab that. Oh, she's got her portal though, so that only cost her a few seconds. But here's why we're going to skip a lot of Ice Palace. Fylion is setting up for the Ice Palace bomb jump right now. This is the first bomb jump you should learn, and he gets it perfectly the first time. This is the first bomb jump you should learn if you're going to do the NMG run, because it basically allows you to skip 3/4 of Ice Palace. And we'll see why in just a minute here. Nicky's gonna go grab her flippers, and then she'll be on her way to Ice Palace. Fylion is just ignoring this room. He's going to head straight to the next room, where because of his bomb jump, the switches are already down here. He can simply push the block over and head straight down to the cold stair fight. Normally, the dungeon wants you to make a couple loops to get those switches down. Oh, but he's got to be very careful. That Freezor is bodying him. He's going to go up here and grab the anti-fairy for safety. Now he's gonna pick up some extra magic here. He needs a full magic bar for the cold stair fight because it takes 8 fire rod hits to break the cold stair shell, and if he misses 1, then he's not gonna have enough magic to take it out. He gets through the shell nicely. Gonna set up for a quick kill on cold stair. As they get it out of the corner, he's got to be very careful. Oh, no! Oh, man. He takes a death to cold stair, and he's out of magic. He's going to have to go get some magic before he can redo this. That basically allows Nicky to take the lead here. Yeah, that is a costly death. And I think he's going to go pick up the Ice Rod right now. He might elect to come back to Ice Palace later. So the advantage Nicky has with grabbing that half magic is that she'll have magic she can use the Fire Rod on Cold Stair, which does a lot of damage to him. So that's going to set her up for a decent fight coming up here. She's going to set up for her Ice Palace Bomb Jump. Yeah, Fyron's going to pick up the Ether Medallion. I think he's going to go into Swamp next, get the magic refill from clearing that, and then try Ice Palace again. Yeah, Nicky got her Ice Palace Bomb Jump off. She is heading towards her Cold Stair fight. Fylion's going to pick up his Ether Medallion. So at this point, yeah, Nicky has taken a lead for sure, but we're not going to exactly know where these runners are in relation to each other until we get to Turtle Rock. So while Nicky has an advantage, we'll have to see how it plays out over these next few dungeons. Nicky's down into her Cold Stair fight. She only needs half a bar to take out the shell, and then she's got a Tempered Sword and a Fire Rod, which she can use on Cold Stair. Cold Stair does get out of the corner, but she's doing... Oh, she's got through it. Cold Stair's down. And Fylion is on his way into Swamp Palace now. The Swamp Palace, it's a pretty straightforward dungeon. You have to go through it, get to the left side, get the big key, grab the hook shot, and then head back to Argus. So he's grabbing this first key. He'll have to go upstairs, pull that switch to fill up the canal down here, or whatever you want to call that. Nicky is through Ice Palace. Let's see what she elects to do. She's going to go straight into Swamp. So she's going to hold off on picking up her Ice Rod and Ether Medallion until later. Fylion is on the left side of Swamp. He's got to grab a key here, head back up, push that switch to fill this one up, and then he'll head over to grab his hook shot. Nicky is going to empty the dam here, and she's going to be in the Swamp Palace. Fyon's got to be a little careful. He's getting a little low on hearts. And unfortunately, Swamp doesn't really have any anti-fairies that you can powder. In fact, there's no anti-fairies in this dungeon, though there is one in the dam back in the Light World. Nicky is also in the Swamp Palace, and she'll basically be taking the same route. Fylion picks up a heart there. That's one of the advantages to the speedrun, is if you know what pots have hearts and bombs and arrows, and you ever find yourself running low, you know where you can go to get some extra hearts or arrows or whatever to make sure you get through the run safely. Fylion is on the left side. He's going to go pick up his big key so he can grab the hook shot. Nicky is on her way to the left side. Fyon's going to have to be just pretty careful in this last part. He's only got 3 hearts. There are a couple opportunities to grab a few more hearts. And Fylion has his hook shot. He's got a hook shot to the right to grab another small key, and then he can head into the back. Oh, takes a hit. He's down to 2 hearts. Nicky hit this switch, filling up this room. But Fylion is through there. He's going to head downstairs. He's got to empty this next room, and then he can head to Argus. Grabs that heart to stop the beeping, at least. So he finds on his way to Argus. Nicky is heading upstairs to drop down to grab her big key. And he can grab 2 more hearts. Fylion grabs 2 more hearts here. I think that's all you can grab for health, unless he wants to go into this side room, which most runners won't. Takes a hit there, so he's going to be at 4 hearts for Argus. So I think he can only take 1 Argus hit and be safe. Well, Nicky's got her big key. She's heading to grab her hook shot. And Fylion's got to play this pretty safe. Gets to the first phase alright. 2 Tempered Sword spins to take out Argus. And he's through Argus. Gonna grab his crystal, and I think this is the longest sequence of text boxes in the game. I know at least one other commentator likes to call this one Chatty Cathy. Nikki is into the back of Swamp Palace. She's going for Argus. So something to keep in mind. Even though fylion has finished Argus first, he still has to go back to kill Cold Stare, which he might elect to do right after this, and so have a full bar of magic again. Nikki is almost to Argus. Let's see what fylion elects to do as he comes out of Swamp Palace. And he's mirroring to the light world. Yeah, he's gonna go back for Ice Palace now. He has full magic, he has an extra heart container. He needs to get through this anyway, and probably better to do this before Meyer. Nikki is having a very nice Argus fight. I don't think she might not have even taken a hit on there. And she's through Argus, she's got her crystal, and she'll have to do her errands before... I call them errands, like errands, side quests, whatever you want to call them, before she heads up to Meyer. So yeah, Nikki's doing her text box mashing. fylion working his way back to Cold Stare. Worst part about this is he basically has to redo the whole dungeon. Like there's no, oh, you open so many doors, you can go there quick. You know, he's got to redo the whole thing. Let's see how he handles the bomb jump this time. Looks like he's got it. Yep, first try. Nikki is going to go pick up her Ether Medallion, most likely going to pick up her Ice Rod right after this. With the hook shot, she can use hook shot speed, which is basically the same as spin speed. You just basically do a item dash with the hook shot. She's through the portal. She's got a fairy there to refill her health. Which is nice because you like to go into Meyer with full health if you can. The fylion is through and he's going to take his second shot at the Cold Stare fight. Nikki has her Ether Medallion. She is going to head to grab her Ice Rod. Fylion through his Cold Stare shell, gets him in the corner. Oh, and that went much better for him. Took a couple hits, but he is fine. So actually, we're going to have a good idea of where these runners are in relation to each other based on when they get into Meyer. As Nikki is going to head there right now, fylion will head there right after he's done with this cutscene. And the difference doesn't look like it's going to be very big between the two. Nikki will have a small lead, but I don't think it's not going to be too big of a lead. So we're going to have a race here going through these last couple dungeons. Nikki's watching out for that bird. That bird does 2 hearts of damage, and it just loves to follow you around. So Nikki is entering Misery Mire at about 1:16:06. And yeah, with these sword beams in the second room of Meyer, you can clear it out pretty quickly. Though if she takes a hit from the Beamos, loses one of those hearts, but still pretty quick. As Nicky's heading to the back, she's got to grab a key back here, and then she'll head to the left side. Meyer's another of those dungeons that has a lot of extra rooms. You won't see most of these in a speedrun. So fylion goes into Meyer at 1:16:51, so there's about a 45-second difference between these runners right now. We're struggling a little bit to get the dash here. Gets it, though. Oh, he's having a very nice Meyer, too. Though he got hit with one of those Wizrobe hits, which costs 4 hearts of damage, but there's plenty of anti-fairies to powder in this dungeon. Nicky is using some block clips to get fire rod shots through the blocks. She's in one of the longer cutscenes in the game. It's actually not much of a cutscene because you don't even get to see what's happening. You just see the screen shake a little bit. Yeah, fylion elects to powder an anti-fairy there for safety. Nicky's got her big key. She's going to go to the right side and grab her cane. fylion will light his torches, and then he'll be in his cutscene. Nicky's going to hook shot here and grab her cane. And now she's on her way to Vitreous. fylion has his big key. Nicky's using some damage boost to get through those spikes. Take a couple hearts of damage. She can powder in the next room to recover that health, though. It's important in here to have as much health as possible going into the Vitreous fight. We're going to be using some damage boost techniques to get through this Vitreous fight as easily as possible. Nicky's working her way through the basement as fylion goes to grab his cane. Nicky gets a nice cane dash off there to trigger that switch. Bombs the wall. She's got to flip the switch, and then she can head upstairs. She pulls out powder so she can get a full health refill going into this Vitreous fight. And she's going to, powder this anti-fairy, and then she's been to Vitreous. So Vitreous, basically, the eyeballs do a lot of damage, so to avoid that, she's going to stand in the goo, take damage from the goo instead of the eyeballs. And she can use the goo for the iframes to spin the eyeballs, get them down, and now she just needs to unload 8 arrows into Vitreous himself, and it's down. Very nice Vitreous fight from Nicky. fylion is not too far behind. He'll be going into his Vitreous fight in a few seconds. Does the same, powders an anti-fairy for full life. We'll be seeing very similar techniques from him. Very nice done, though. He's going to get a lightning bolt before Vitreous becomes vulnerable. Nikki is out of Mire at about 121.30. And she will be heading up to Turtle Rock. Now, finally, through his virtuous fight, he's got some text box mashing to do before he'll be on his way up to Turtle Rock. Nicky using the hookshot speed there to get through that section pretty quickly. So finally is out of Mire. It's about a 50-second difference between the two runners at this point. And with Turtle Rock and Ganon to go, anything can still happen. So Nikki has made it up to Turtle Rock. She'll use Quick to open it, as fylion is climbing Death Mountain. So Turtle Rock can be a very dangerous dungeon. Most of the enemies in here do 4 hearts of damage. The Pokies will do 4 hearts. The skeletons can do 4 hearts. The laser beams do 4 hearts. So you gotta be very careful going through here. But it's another dungeon with a lot of anti-fairies to powder. So there's plenty of opportunities to refill health if needed. First thing the runners have to do is head over to this side, light these torches, and go grab the big key. Actually, sorry. They'll grab a small key back here. Big key's later. Nikki using the... Oh, fylion has the wrong medallion out. fylion, you need to switch to the Quake. Yeah, I think he might have slipped into random mode maybe a little bit there. Didn't realize what medallion he had out. I'm not sure. The good news for him, though, is that they only cost him a few seconds. He'll get a full magic refill right there. But Nikki's got her small key. She's taking out this Pokey. Ooh, yeah, that's the fairy that you used the dashes for earlier to store up as an enemy drop. She gets full life going into this Chain Chomp room, which is good because these Chain Chomps hurt. Finds lit the torches as Nikki is through the Chain Chomp room. So yeah, Fylion's got his key. Nikki is heading towards the big key chest. This next one can be a bit dangerous because of the laser and the Pokey. That's a very nice spin. She gets through it fine. She'll grab her big key. Fylion heading to this Pokey. We'll have full hearts as well going into the Chain Chomp room. There's a little bit of a dance there to avoid damage. Gets through it. Nikki has her big key. She's gonna get through this Poke room, then she'll be heading towards the back of Turtle Rock. She knows there's an anti-fairy there. She powders it for the fairy for fill up her life. Finally gets through that room. He gets his fairy drop, but unfortunately he doesn't need it. Yes, this big key, he'll be heading towards the back as Nicky gets through the second roller room, and she is heading down to the laser bridge area. She's got to get through this maze first. She navigates that nicely. Next up is laser bridge, where she'll have to go through just the bottom chest to grab the key there. Finally gets through this pokey room. He'll be on his way through this big key door into the bottom of Turtle Rock. A very nice laser skip by Nicky. She's heading to Trinex. Sets the block down. Nope, she had it perfectly placed. She got both switches in one block. Filing through the second roller room, he's going to head down to this maze as Nicky preps for her Trinex fight. Now, Trinex, compared to some of these more recent bosses, is actually pretty easy once you know his pattern. Basically, rod shot, 5 temper slashes per head, and then 5 temper slashes to the body of Trinex. So that if Ice Head might have given her a little trouble, but she's through the first part of Trinex, going into the second part. As fylion heads through Laser Bridge, he's heading back to Trinex as well. And very nice second phase for Trinex. Nicky's got him down, and she'll be heading to GT. Meanwhile, Phylion's about to enter his Trinex fight. Looks like he's getting through it pretty well. 5 slashes to each head. Trinex shells blows up, and we'll be in phase 2. Gets through that very nicely. So let's see. Nicky is coming out of Turtle Rock at 129.22. She's on her way to the Ganon's Tower right now. Fylion just finished off Trinex. He won't be too far behind. The difference is definitely going to be less than a minute going into GT. Nicky has GT open, and she's going to head in. Yeah, Phylion's going to be about 50 seconds behind. So the other big difference noticed between these two runners as they enter GT is that Nicky has picked up both a bottle, a bug net, and half magic. And Fylion doesn't have those. So she's going to have extra safeties climbing this tower. Fylion is not going to have those. So that could come into play. We'll have to watch that. But Fylion has GT open. He's heading in. Like, the difference is about 50 seconds between these runners. It means any misstep from either one, and this race could change dramatically. So Fylion elects to grab the key off the torch. You have to grab a couple keys as you're climbing here, but it doesn't really matter which keys you grab, as long as you have enough keys to get through it. The difference between keys is maybe a second or two. Nicky uses that one portal to warp into that one room so you can grab some arrows. You need at least 18 arrows coming into this upcoming Armos fight. Oh, but Nicky pulled both pots. So she's going to try to bomb jump this. And she gets it. Almost went over the bridge, but she got it. And Nicky is into the Ice Armos fight. Fylion is right behind her. Nicky misses one of the Armos. She's not going to get a quick kill on this. But she still gets it down pretty well. And she's going to have her big key. And I think she's going to go pick up red mail. I think she knows she's ahead, and she's got the time to do this. It's a very quick thing to do. It's actually going to make... It actually will put our runners closer together, but having red mail will be very helpful in this climb. Oh, but Fylion's not going to have enough arrows. He's going to have to tempered slash it down, which is going to take a little extra time. Not too much, though. He's going to have his big key, and he'll be climbing. And he grabs the arrow refill as well. This is going to be a close race. And Nicky's through the first of the mimic rooms. At this point, Fylion's about 20 seconds behind. That could easily be decided by a land mola fight that goes bad, a Moldorm fall. Anything could change this race quick. Fylion's through the second mimic room as Nicky is triggered the switch to go up through this room. Gauntlet execution is going to be very important here. In fact, execution just going up this tower is going to be important. Ooh, looks like Fylion double triggered that switch. He had to take an extra second to trigger it again. Nicky is starting through her climb through the gauntlet. Because she has half magic, she can be a little bit more liberal with her fire rod usage here. The Fylion's in his gauntlet as well. Fyon's making very good work through this gauntlet, but so is Nicky. Nicky's going to powder here. It's going to change the land mola pattern a little bit, but she'll get most of her health refilled. Fylion will probably elect to powder as well. Oh, but the Beamos gets him. Nicky making good work through this fight. It's still about a 20-second difference between these two runners. And Fylion got Lamola 2 down. Nicky's working through the Wizrobe rooms. She one-cycles that second Wizrobe room as Fylion goes upstairs. Nicky's lighting the torches in here. Fylion is going to... Fylion gets through the Wizrobe room as well. Nicky grabs a magic refill. She heads upstairs. Ooh, Fylion takes a fall there. Nicky's working her way. Fyon's got to be a little quick. Nikki refilled her health in this room. It's a Moldorm 2 fight is next. This is another RNG heavy one, potentially. Not as bad as the first, but still can get you. And Nikki gets through it very cleanly. And so Nikki's on her way to Aga 2 as fylion gets to his Moldorm fight. fylion through Moldorm 2. Nikki's on Aga 2. I think Nikki has opened up a slightly bigger lead, but it's still almost under 30 seconds. Nikki's getting some alright patterns for Aga 2. No, didn't get a cycle on that one. Didn't get a hit on that cycle. Oh, missed Aga there. fylion actually is getting some good patterns. He starts with a triple. Nikki's got Aga down. I think it was a double for fylion. He needs one more hit. No hits on that one though. 138-18 and Nikki's leaving GT. fylion got Aga 2 down. This could come down to Ganon execution. Alright. So Nikki has started her Ganon fights. fylion about to drop in. Nikki doesn't get the one cycle on the first phase. Yeah, this difference is 15-20 seconds right now. Didn't get the one cycle on the first phase, but he'll get a nice setup for phase 2. So I think he wasn't sure if he had phase 2, so he didn't go into that spot. So both runners are going to take a 2-cycle phase 2. Nikki's in the phase 3. Ganon warps could make a difference here. fylion's on phase 3. I can't even call this. This is way too close to call. Nikki's got a small lead, but any misstep could change this race. So Nikki's on phase 4. She's got the torch glitch. She's starting her spins. fylion also gets the torch. Oh, no, never, sorry about that. Yeah, Nikki's got her spins going. See if fylion needs to get this torch glitch. He's got it. So it's just down to execution. And both runners are going hard. This is really close to call. And Nikki's got him down. Nikki has Ganon down. We'll have her for SG or Speed Racing TV time in just a second here. And Nickynoel has finished in first place with an official Speed Racing TV time of 1 hour, 41 minutes, and 6 seconds. Or 7 seconds. And fylion also has Ganon down. We'll get his time in just a second here. And fylion finishes with an official Speed Racing TV time of 1 hour, 41 minutes, and 32 seconds. GG to both of them. We're going to get them in here for interviews.
basically, up the helmet saw the only thing that went.
We are now joined by both racers, Nickynoel, our winner, and fylion. GG to both of you.
Yeah, congrats to Nicky for that.
Yeah, that took a turn in the right way. That run.
Yeah, that was a very close race to watch between the two of you. I mean, it came down to GT. I mean, I don't even know what to look at the runs. I think fylion for you, it probably came down to that cold stare fight.
A lot went wrong. Let's blame it on the cold stare fight. I mean, partly it was the cold stare. I will say mirroring twice accidentally in pod did not help my mental state for the rest of the run. But I got better at the end. I actually got a gold on Turtle Rock and a gold in GT, so I'm pleased with those parts. It just wasn't enough at the end, so yeah, good work to Nicky. That must be a PB for you.
Yeah, PB by almost 3 minutes.
Oh, nice.
It was, yeah. The run basically up to Helmsaw was completely bad. Like, I saw you ride 4 blue balls, and I wasn't even in the Aga fight. I got 3. But yeah, except an exceptionally awesome Trolldom 1 fight, like, I lost 40 seconds because I completely failed Eastern Palace damage boost. And had to kill everything. Completely went bad on Hematyam and was a minute behind after that. And after Helmsaw, everything turned golden.
Yeah, I think fylion also struggled a bit with the hammer jump. Well, he didn't struggle with the hammer jump, but I think he got a little eager with his mirror trigger finger.
Yeah, I set up the hammer jump perfectly 3 times. The first time because I mirrored in the maze. The second time because I mirrored while setting up the jump. And then the third time went fine.
Yeah, no. The only fast fingering with mirror was, yeah, I dived under Quake like a champ. Mirror didn't catch it and had to go back into the Dark World to get it again.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate mirror there, but luckily didn't cost you too much time.
Yeah, it was my very first run now, which did not die unintentionally. I took a death swap at pod because, yeah, at best I would have had 5 hearts for Helmsaw and was like, no, let's just quickly take the 2 hearts of damage and go with full life.
Well, GG to both of you. Unfortunately, we have to probably get going here quick because we do have another race starting here right after this. Any final thoughts from either of you?
I mean, I knew we weren't going to move ahead in the tournament. This was a fun match, but I had a lot of fun, and I was looking forward to facing Nicky, and I knew it would be close, so GG and congrats to her.
Yeah, it was great, and thanks for racing again. And also thanks for restreamers, commentators.
Yeah, JP, thanks for stepping up to calm this at the end.
Yeah, thanks to both of you for putting on a great race. Yeah, with that, we've got to wrap up here because we do have another race coming up. We do have more NMG tournament action coming up later today. I'm actually going to pull up the schedule here quick. I mean, there's plenty of action coming up on the Speed Gaming Networks. Next up, we've got a Sonic Adventure 2 battle race coming up. Later today, we've got Louis versus Zam at 5:15. And then we've got a really nice block of races coming at 8 o'clock. Parisian Player versus ALG Andy at 8 on Speed Gaming. And then a quad for you on Speed Gaming 4. John Rossum's ACMLM will face off. And Ninban and Emo Saru will also face off. And then to finish up the day, we've got Solidus versus Green Linen Shirt at 9 p.m. on Speed Gaming 2. Yeah, make sure to thanks to our runners for running. Thanks to everyone for making this race possible. Make sure to tune into Speed Gaming for other races. Make sure to follow our runners if you enjoyed what they did, and yeah, enjoy some more NMG action today. And everybody have a good day.